Alright, guys, this part's going to be a little bit shorter since I recorded such a long segment earlier. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and start the game and we'll get back to talking. Um, so this was something I remembered after recording the last segment. Uh, a long time ago, my brother had a friend named Steven. And we saw him regularly up until we moved out of the house we were living in at the time. And let's see, yeah, and so he was there pretty regularly up until we left that house, and then after that I never saw him again. So a little while after that, I asked about him, and apparently there was a rumor going around that he passed away in a car accident, and that was the last I heard of it for years. And then not too long ago, I actually asked my brother about it, and he heard a rumor that Steven was still alive, which I had not heard anything about that either. Um, Most of the people that we had contact with at the time, we'd actually lost contact with over the years because moving neighborhoods and stuff like that. Uh, so I don't really know what to make of that at this point. So whether he's alive or dead, I really don't know. And I'm hoping he's still alive because from what I remember, he was a pretty talented artist and he was a pretty nice dude. I got along well with him. Um, and I guess that's really the end of that because I don't. It's pretty much an open-ended question whether he's alive or not right now. So I guess with that being said, I will move on to what I was going to talk about next, which was the political stuff. I mentioned this in a previous segment, but uh, I wanted to specify that at this point I would rather start moving away from the political content, both on my YouTube and other social media platforms. Um, because I've noticed that at least for me, there's this pattern that emerges where I start to get super angry and moody over things that I have no control over. You know, I don't have any control over the wars or the economy or anything like that. You know, no matter how often people protest these days, how often people complain online or how often we do anything to try to fix things, it just doesn't seem to be working anymore. I mean, I don't know. It's like times have changed a lot even since the 60s with the civil rights movement and everything. It feels like the people have less power than ever before. Um, I'm just one dude sitting alone in his room playing video games. Like, what am I really going to change by complaining online all day or going to a protest or anything like that? Well, I mean, we already see like what's going on with the pro-Palestine protesters and how they're being smeared by the media. Pretty much like pretty much anyone that goes against any sort of official narrative is treated rather poorly. We'll say they are they are looked down upon and not looked upon favorably by the general populace. So yeah. So what like for the trans community, they have a lot of allies online, and people have been protesting and voicing their opinions on all of that, and yet um, the general consensus regarding trans people has taken a nosedive. Like no matter how many segments they do about 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 their evidence and their support for it, it keeps going down now. So I don't know what anyone's supposed to do at this point. Like, if you're in support of a community, but the public perception keeps deteriorating, like, what do you even do at that point? So, like, once you're in a position where you start to realize how powerless you are, there just seems to be no point in continuing a fruitless struggle, which is why I want to just move away from politics at this point permanently and just focus on my life and just focus on talking to people and trying to help them out. You know, on a personal level, there's more I can do, but on a grand scale, not really. You know, there's just it's frustrating, but I don't I don't have the power to change it. And even with a bunch of activists online, they don't have the power to change it either. So what do we do at that point? There's like there's not much we can do in terms of meaningful change. So I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but you know, if I was some sort of godly figure and had the power to fix all of this, I would have done it a long time ago. But I'm just a normal, regular human person, and so I would rather just focus on the things that I can control because I never know at this point what day on this planet will be my last day. Because for all we know, the Earth could get blown to hell tomorrow. And what do we do then? I mean, the billionaires and millionaires are going to be hiding out in their bunkers while the rest of us have to deal with either being dead or being, you know, subject to a decaying, irradiated planet. So that'll be the end of that discussion regardless. And I don't want to come off as a pessimist here, but I'm just trying to be realistic. With how the world's changed and with how corrupt institutions across the planet have become, I don't see a way out of it. So the best thing I can do is just live my days on this planet, you know, live out what's left of my time on Earth as an individual with a personal focus and a personal goal that I can actually achieve. And talking to you guys through these videos is the best way I can really think to go about doing that. And like I said, after I'm done with the gaming stuff, I've got possibly some music stuff planned, and I'll also be just doing general life vlogs. So, and I mean, that's really it. Beyond that, I really don't know what else I'm going to do. So I guess that brings me to my last point before I finish up talking about my own life and just start to focus on the viewers and what they want to talk about. Because that's part of the reason I'm here, is to listen to people and try to help them as best I can. And the last point that I want to bring up, to be honest, I completely forgot what it was. Oh yeah, what I want to focus on now is what I'm currently doing in life, because I recently came into some work. It's not much, it's just like cleaning and doing some maintenance at a building in town, but it pays pretty decently, so it's sort of like a bi-weekly thing at this point. You know, every couple weeks we'll go up there and work, and that's and of course I've been helping my mom get my sister ready to move, which I'll have to give her the PS4 back to, as I mentioned, when she's ready to go. But that's generally my life right now, is just, you know, working and being online and playing video games and just doing general life stuff. It's overall, I would say just a pretty average existence, and I'm content with that. I mean, it's not like I'm knocking it or anything. Um, but the focus of this series is just to talk about life and talk about what people are doing and what we want to do and what we can do to affect meaningful change in the world and try to recover emotionally from issues we've had. So that's what I'm hoping will happen for us over the course of these games and whatever other recordings I do. So, and I guess at this point we may as well proceed with the game because I pretty much ran out of things to talk about. Um, I'll see what I can think of that comes to mind, as I progress with this. But overall, that's pretty much my life. I've told you guys about everything I can. Anyway, so I guess in terms of where I'm at in the game right now, I just got to Wall Market, which is sort of the shady back alley market town. It's they've got some upgraded gear here, but honestly, unless you feel like grinding for a little bit, you're better off just waiting. So you'll be stealing some better gear once you get to the Shinra building. Oh wow, I'm an idiot. Oh well, I just wasted 10 gil. Go me! Let's see. Oh well, I've got some extra gil at this point, so I can go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and get Cloud's dress and everything before I call it good on this segment. So we'll continue from there tomorrow. I'll have a bit more free time on my hands tomorrow too, so oh yeah, I need to go get the coupon. Digestive. So yeah, what we're basically trying to do right now is sneak into Don Corneo's manor, um, so we can go save Sarah because she's been trying to get some intel from Don Corneo about Shinra and whatnot. There's a couple different side quests you can do to raise the odds of being picked by Corneo so you can get to him directly. can see Cloud's ghost in here. Alright, I think I've got enough money to get maybe an upgrade or something here. Yeah, I'll get the metal knuckle for Sarah and a mithril armlet for Brandon. Yeah, that'll do. I'm using the code so I don't have to worry too much about dying, but if I end up having to switch to the PlayStation 1 version, which I'll be playing on my PS2, then I will have to give a bit more consideration to my equipment and everything, and my materia and all that, so I don't end up dying. Luckily, I've played through this game enough now to know what to do in case that happens. Okay. Oh yeah, I also gotta go back and talk to this guy. I'm gonna have to turn off the turbo code here for a minute so I can do this squat game where you basically do squat exercises in order to get the blonde wig. For some reason, the frames on the PS4 version are actually a bit slower in some areas. It's kind of weird. Uh, I noticed during the slots, like the slot machine mini games and some of the limit breaks, that they were moving more slowly than the PS1 version. Alright, I got the blonde wig. So I got all the key items I need now to put the dress on. Go ahead and do that. I am not a hooligan, madam. I want to try to keep the cursing in these videos to a minimum as much as possible because, you know, this is about trying to connect with people on that deeper psychological level, and I feel like excessive profanity would kind of get in the way of that ambition. So, yeah. So I'm gonna try to actually speak the way an aspiring modern philosopher might actually try to speak. You know, I'm no Plato or Aristotle or any of those guys, but I'm trying. It's the best I can do. Anyway, now that we've gotten all the gloomy stuff out of the way, we can actually focus on, you know, start focusing on the therapeutic part of this whole process. You know, we can actually start talking and communicating like I was intending from the beginning. So, I don't know how many comments or views or likes or anything these videos are gonna ever end up getting, but if it helps somebody, that's something. That's the best I can hope for. And with that being said, it's time to end this off for now because this has already gone on long enough. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and from there we'll actually continue with the game proper. I may not end up speaking much during some parts because I want to actually concentrate on the game for a little bit. But if I think of something, I'll definitely let you know. So anyway, I guess it's night night to all, and just time to chill out for the evening. So I'll see you guys later.